in this chamber, and I am submitting myself before the country in protest. My constitutional rights are violated in this committee. I'm sorry to say, let me be detained in this chamber and be cited in contempt. I will not participate if my constitutional right will not be guaranteed. You are not here
Mr. Chairman,
to decide for my constitutional rights.
Let me finish.
There's a point of order, the Honorable
Let me finish. What I'm saying, I am not telling you to stop. What I'm saying is, my out of order. Sandali, makinig ka. My out of order is all about your manifestation to straighten out. Patapusin mo ako.
Yes, sir.
Huwag ka may bastos.
Hindi ako bastos,
Patapusin
nagpapaliwanag
mo
po
ako.
ako.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I
today, the hearing of House Resolutions number 230 and 1428 on the question acts of the Sunshine Media Network International SMNI, peddling fake news, baseless tagging of individuals, groups and organizations, and acts subject to various complaints against the media network filed and pending before the NTC, MTRCB, and the Kapisanan ng Broadcasters ng Pilipinas. We also consider the issues raised in the privileged speech of the Honorable David J.J. Suarez on the basis report of SMNI regarding the travel expense of the House Speaker, Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. Yesterday, the plenary acted on House Resolution number 1499 and authorized the Committee on Legislative Franchise to consider it in today's hearing. The members will be provided a copy of House Resolution number 1499. The SMNI is operating under the franchise agreement of Suara Sub Media Corporation pursuant to Republic Act 11422, approved on August 22, 2019, with a term of 25 years. The proponents asserted that SMNI violated the terms and conditions of the franchise and called for the Committee of Legislative Franchises to exercise its oversight function to determine whether the acts of SMNI is in violation of the franchise warrants its revocation. During the initial hearing, the members elicited from the resource persons of NTC, KBP, and MTRCB on the finding and pendency of cases against SMNI. They also agreed that the acts complained of may have violated Section 4 of RA 1422 on the responsibility of the franchise grantee to the public. It provides, among others, a grantee shall not use its stations or facilities for the broadcasting of obscene or indecent language, speak, act, or seen, and for the dissemination of deliberately false information or willful misrepresentation to the detriment of public interest, encourage or assist subversive and treasonable acts. In reviewing the franchise of Suara Sub Media Corporation in relation to the acts of SMNI, complaint of the committee considers the compliance with the terms and conditions thereon. There are provisions in the franchise that are obligatory upon the grantee, and by accepting the franchise, it is bound to faithfully comply with these obligations. Much is expected from media practitioners. Truth and accuracy are the very tenet of broadcasting, whether in delivering news, editorial, and expressing opinion. Considering the testimonies given and documents submitted, the committee shall determine whether the grantee can continue enjoying the privilege under this franchise. Sa ating mga kasamahan sa Kongreso, ang ating mga bisita at mga manonood ng FB page ng House of Representatives, ang pagdinig na ito ay pagtungkol sa prangkisa ng Suara Sub Media Corporation. Papakinggan po natin ang bawat upang bigyan ng linaw ang isyong pinagkakaloob na estado sa prebyong Suarez South Media Corporation. Kaakibat sa prebyong ito ay ang pananagutan na inatang sa ating grantee. It cannot exercise the privilege with impunity and invoke press freedom as pretext for misinformation that may mislead the public. Nais kong bigyan ng diin na ang isyong ito ay hindi tungkol sa kalayaan ng pamamahayag o ang malayang pagpapahayag. Ito ay ang malagang pagsusuri kung narapat ipagpatuloy ng Suarez South Media Corporation bilang isang grantee. Kami po ay kaisa ng bayan sa pagpapalahad ng katotohanan at sumusunod ito kami sa tamang proseso ng pandinig nito. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Before we proceed, may direct the committee secretary to acknowledge the members in attendance and resource persons with us today. Comsec.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's meeting, we have the following members in attendance. We have the Vice Chairperson, Representative Johnny Pimentel, Representative Jervil Luistro, Representative Celas Luz Limbo, Representative Robert Ace Barbers, Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano, Representative David J.J. Suarez, Representative Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez, Representative Alan P., Representative Agustina Dominic Pancho. We also have Representative Alfred de los Santos, Representative Francisco Jose Matugas, Representative Toby Chanco, Representative Alfred, Representative Faustino Inodi, Representative Ricardo Cruz Jr., Representative Dan Fernandez, Representative Christian Rabia, Representative Romeo Acop, and Representative Antonio Ferrer.
For the resource persons.
For our resource person from KBP, we have Attorney Rudolph Steve Olarbal. From the MTRCB, we have Attorney Cesar Pareja. From the MTRCB, we have Attorney Abubakar Johari. And Mr. Bobby Diciembre from MTRCB as well. We have from NTC, the Deputy Commissioner Alvin Blanco. From SEC, we have the General Counsel, Attorney Ronwald Padilla, and Attorney Gerard Del Rosario. And with them, we have Attorney Mazer Martin Carnel. From the SMNI, we have Attorney Mark Tolentino, Attorney Rolex Suplico, Ms. Lorraine Baloy, and Mr. Jeffrey Celis. And we also recognize Honorable Lex Picollada, a member of the committee. And we also have from NTC, Attorney Andy Castellar. And also we invited again Attorney Rico Domingo from the HUD. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Committee Secretary. We now proceed with the interpretation. First that I will recognize is the Honorable David J.J. Silence, President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, I just want to start off from where we ended last hearing with regards to the news that Jeffrey said is mentioned in their program. Mr. Celis, are you with us today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. When we ended our hearing last week, The statements I released was that we were treading on very dangerous grounds, as the source, the resource person, mentioned that his source emanated from the Senate. And I felt that it was important for us to determine who that source was, because it was also determined in last hearing that the statements issued by Mr. Ceres in his program was false. And if indeed it is from the Senate, interparliamentary relations between the House and the Senate are now put in question. Because parang lumalabas, may nag-leak ng hindi makatotohanang balita mula sa Senado patungkol sa House of Representatives. At nung December 3, if I may be allowed, Mr. Chair, Senate President Subiri issued a statement. And if I may be allowed to read, he stated, "I have no knowledge whatsoever of anyone from the Senate leaking information to any reporter on any House matter. Until the concerned resource speaker names a Senate employee, there is no reason to believe that these allegations are anything more than intrigues being sown to create controversy and fake news. We respect interparliamentary courtesy and would not want to put a rift in the strong partnership that we have with the House, with the leadership and the members of the House. I would suggest that the House continue their investigation until they get to the bottom of this accusation and press for the concerned person to reveal the name of their alleged source in the Senate. Otherwise, the House can cite them in contempt. If they can prove it's an employee of the Senate, then we will initiate disciplinary action on those involved." Quote unquote from Senate President Miguel Subiri. So now, Mr. Ceres, I would just like to reiterate my question. The source, please.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of this committee, may I be allowed, please, to manifest a statement of clarification before I proceed to answer the question of Honorable Congressman J.G. Suarez, because I believe that the statement that I am going to make as an opening premise to the answer that I should be giving to the Honorable Congressman will settle everything and clarify before the nation a very important statement that I want to make. Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed, please?
Before I allow you, I'd like to remind everyone that your oath has been administered in the last session, and this will continue after today.
Yeah.
So, you're under oath.
Yeah.
So, lahat ng sabi po natin ay ang katotohanan. Okay.
Can I proceed, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, you may.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, the Honorable ako.
meron pong katanungan si Honorable Suarez, di po ba?
Opo.
Hindi ba dapat sagutin lang ng resource person or witness yung katanungan muna
Okay.
bago siya mag-explain?
Okay. The first person.
Thank you for the reminder, Congressman Ako, sir. And to the members of this committee, I feel, and it is my right to state before this committee and the August Chamber of Congress, that this committee is not above the law. No one in government is above the law. We are a government of laws. I am protected under the SOTO law. I have the constitutional right. I requested per record that I may be given competent advice and assistance of a legal counsel, and such right is guaranteed by the Constitution. And such right is also stipulated clearly in Section 12 of the governing House rules pertaining to committee hearing and conduct of investigation. And even if I am not in a court trial, the right to seek out counsel advice and assistance from the counsel is a part of principle of due process, a principle guaranteed by the Constitution. And I believe before I answer any further question, may I manifest respectfully and humbly before this committee that all the statements, even after under oath, in the absence of competent legal advice and assistance previously, may be granted to be stricken off the record because I believe my constitutional rights were violated.
Point of order.
Yes,
The answer manifestation of Mr. Celes is out of order. He is out of order because you cannot dictate to this house and you cannot move. Only members of you ask members of this house.
Yes, I am explaining,
No.
sir. I am not moving.
No, your manifestation is out of order.
I am requesting.
Do not lecture us
No, I am
about
not
the rules
lecturing.
of this
I am
committee.
standing up for my right. I am standing up for my right.
Remember, we might cite you in contempt.
Then so be it, Your Honor.
You challenge us?
Yes,
Okay.
if that will be sin in the nation, na walang karapatan ang mga invited guests dito na magpahayag, Your Honor, with due respect to you, I do not believe na ang kongresong ito ay lalabag sa karapatan ng mga
Mr.
bayan.
Chairman,
yes.
Mr. Chair.
I'm
So be it, Your Honor.
out of order. And what's the position of the chair?
I will not, Mr. Chairman, I will not give up my right to free speech and be respected under the Constitution because this August Chamber is obligated by law.
Dali na po.
Mr. Chairman,
Hiring.
may I explain why
Yes, the Honorable Ako is recognized and I understand yung sinasabi po ng ating mga ng ating bisita. Pero alam po ninyo, kung ang ginagamit nyo po ay yung hearing nung huli at wala kayong representasyon, hindi po namin kasalanan. Kasalanan po ng mga abogado ng SMNI dahil sila mismo on record ang nagsabi na they are here to represent SMNI and not the anchors because dumistansya nga po sila. Ang sabi nila, hindi po namin trabaho ang bigyan ng representasyon ang anchor. That's why nung humingi po kayo, ang pinaliwanag ko, hindi ho pwede sila magdepensa sa inyo. Dapat ho humingi kayo ng iba. Dahil hindi ho pwede sila ang magdepensa because they are on record. Under oath, ang sabi nila, kami abogado ng SMNI at hindi kami abogado ng mga anchor. Klaro po yan, Kyrie.
Your Honor, if I may please.
You're not allowed.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just like to explain why I cite him as out of order. Because he manifested that the previous records, it is taken out of records. And as resource person, they are not allowed. For
Your
that.
Honor, I am
Please,
going to be
I am still
in this
speaking.
chamber and I am submitting myself before the country in protest. My constitutional rights are violated in this committee. I'm sorry to say, let me be detained in this chamber and be cited in contempt. I will not participate if my constitutional right will not be guaranteed. You are not here
Mr. Chairman,
to decide for my constitutional rights.
Let me finish.
There's a point of order, the Honorable
Let me finish. What I'm saying, I am not telling you to stop. What I'm saying is, my out of order. Kaya sandali, makinig ka. My out of order is all about your manifestation to strike on out. Patapusin mo ako.
Yes, sir.
Huwag ka may bastos.
Hindi ako bastos,
Patapusin
nagpapaliwanag
mo
po
ako.
ako.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I'm saying is, and what I'm pointing out over there is the manifestation that the previous statement, the previous record, simply is taken out of order. And under the rules, he's not allowed to do it.
Point of order.
Yes, the Honorable Dan Fernandez on the point of order.
Maybe remind the resource speakers and the members of this committee to observe the proper decorum.
Correct.
If the chairman acknowledge a certain personality, let him speak and
Yes.
don't interrupt the members of this committee while the member is given the right to speak. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Honorable Ako is recognized.
Mr. Celis, please be reminded that in this committee and this house, we have rules to follow. Hindi po ba namin sinusunod yung mga rules? Matanong ko nga ako,
Yes, sir. I feel that
and
is my...
I would like to remind you that these rules are supposed to be followed by members of this committee and by the witnesses or resource persons to be present. And one of these rules is that before you can speak, you ask permission from the chairman. Kami nga, hindi kami nagsasalita na walang permission yung chairman. You better follow that rule. Otherwise, baka mapilitan akong gawin yung hindi ko dapat gawin. Thank you.
The Honorable,
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. But I think the Honorable Ace Barbers.
I was raising a point of order earlier, but
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you that.
It's okay,
My
Mr.
apologies.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, kasi gusto ko lang i-refresh yung memory ng ating resource person na no one is curtailing your right. In fact, kaya ka nga nandito, binibigyan ka ng panahon, ng oras para magsalita. But do not play to the crowd saying that your rights are violated in this committee. It's not. Tayo ay nasa demokrasya, di ba? I believe you were a former member of the NPA.
Yes, sir.
Di ba? And alam mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban natin dito, di ba? So, never, ever insult the committee, much more any of the members of this committee. Kasi medyo yun ang affront. Yun ang affront sa amin. And do not challenge us to do what we feel is right to do to you, because you might not like it. I am just going to remind him of that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Honorable Ace Barbers. Any other member that would like to speak?
Chair.
I believe that this is an aid or an inquiry in aid of legislation, and resource persons should be reminded